Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome back to the Breakfast Show with myself and the one and the only co-host, Jose. How are you today?
Good morning, Neil. Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing very well so far. So far, so good today. Big day for the short-term market. But interesting day. We've got a lot to cover. And good morning to everyone in the chat, or good afternoon.
Definitely.
We appreciate you joining us on this wonderful, Wednesday. On this wonderful Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday already? No way. That's wild. Okay, so yeah, good morning. Welcome to everybody joining us on another day here, another fun day on this morning stream. Unfortunately, we didn't get. I was just looking. Some crazy news came out for, maybe not crazy. Some news came out for Nvidia and China. It seems like China doesn't want any AI chips at the moment, or what they're trying to say. So it does seem to be creating a bit of a downturn to the stock today. You can see Nvidia down a whopping 1%. I'm waiting for the chat to say Nvidia's crashing, Nvidia something biffing. But yeah, 1% tanking. Yeah.
We do have. This is also something that I discovered yesterday, that I can change here the watch list to only show the extended hour moves. Mind blown stuff. So in the meantime, we have Nebius up 2%. That's surprising.
Really?
10 minutes ago, it was red.
But yeah, that's why that's why I'm shocked. It was red when I saw it a few minutes ago. Yeah.
Novo is up. Rocket Lab is up 0.9%. BMNR up 0.8%. Google 0.2%. Apple 0.1%. And PayPal is basically flat. And I do have some PayPal news. Uber is also flat. We have some Uber news as well. Who is taking the biggest hit? Duolingo is down 4% after a disappointing DuoCon yesterday.
Oh, they had their conference yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it was apparently very boring, to say the least. But that said, two analysts came out today with super high price targets, like in the $400, $500 or something like that, because there still is a very good business with high margins. But okay, sentiment right now with Duolingo is thrown out of the window. Oscar is still down 1.8%. HIMS 1.8%. Iron is also down 1.6%. Applied Digital is down AMD down 1.2, Nvidia down. So AMD is down more than Nvidia. Interesting. That's interesting. SoFi is down 1.2, and then the rest here is a little bit red at the moment, but that's just right now very low volume. Of course, there is a lot at stake for today with the Fed meeting. We will get the first information at 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. And then I think he speaks an hour after that, so at 3 or something like that. So we first get the dot plot and all of that, and then he will explain what the heck is going on.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of trickle back here to NVIDIA, just to, I just quickly mentioned, but what's happening is, according to multiple news sources from today, China has banned its leading technology company from purchasing NVIDIA AI chips. This is part of China's strategy to bolster its semiconductor independence and reduce reliance on US. Now, according to certain media agencies, NVIDIA CEO has commented that they can only be in service of a market if a country wants us to be, and expressed disappointment with the situation, noting that there are larger agendas to work out between China and the United States. And I do think this is just a lot of tension, obviously, between the United States and China right now. They're trying to showcase, look, we don't need your chips. I personally believe at the end of the day, they do. But I guess, on a picture way, they have to tell us, or they have to show strong face. They have to show a strong hand that, look, we really don't need you, US. We don't need your chip companies. And NVIDIA is at the middle of this. We've also heard reports that there are a lot of, you have Huawei making AI chips, but you also have companies designing their own ASIC solutions. I think it was mentioned that even, I don't know if it was Alibaba or so, that they had recently done a few models with their own AI chips, and they've been actually fully transformed into more of a domestic made chips. We've also heard reports, on the other hand, where DeepSeek hasn't really announced anything, and the main reason DeepSeek hasn't announced anything is because they are unable to get NVIDIA AI chips, and the Huawei chips that they were expecting to get aren't performing the results that they're doing. For me, Neil, I think this is more them just showing face right now. If they want to continue to develop in the AI market, they're going to need to buy US based chips. And I think the reason AMD is down with this as well is, obviously, NVIDIA is the one they talk about a lot, but China's not going to say, oh, I'm not going to buy NVIDIA and I'm going to go to AMD. No, they're just not going to buy, in theory, any form of AMD chip, US based chip in general. They're going to focus in their own. So it doesn't mean because it's bad for NVIDIA, it means they're going to go to AMD. The only reason I would think maybe NVIDIA is down a little bit less, Neil, is yesterday we saw that massive AI investment. And that was mainly in NVIDIA, with a lot of big players, and not, I don't know if AMD announced anything with the UK agreement yesterday.
No, I don't think I've seen anything. So yeah, there was an announcement. You're also getting, right, the I will repeat my question in a second. So there was an announcement yesterday or this morning. So NVIDIA, can you hear me now? Yeah. So do you get the emails from NVIDIA's newsroom?
No, I just I get it from X.
Okay. No, because there is an announcement. NVIDIA, Microsoft, OpenAI, CoreWeave, their investment in the UK. So they were all in that same
Yeah.
press release. There was no AMD, but I mean, with Oracle's backlog being so big, with Oracle being one of AMD's biggest clients, do you think that we're going to see AMD in bigger and bigger data center builds out?
I think so. I mean, they had that kind of UAE partnership, I think, right, which was supposed to be a massive AI infrastructure. I think they still have to show that for them it's possible, right? The MI355, it's just pretty much a 8 GPU system. Obviously, it comes in a server, but in forms of connectivity, it's pretty much an 8 GPU system. I think if we really start to see some of these massive AI investments from a lot of different big players is with the MI400, right? When you have kind of that full server rack system, and they're trying to make more of like that data center system. Because right now, these investors, or the investors of the AI data center, they no longer just want to buy a rack. They pretty much want to buy a full data center company, or pretty much a full data center, kind of plug and play. And NVIDIA luckily has worked with a lot of partners to be able to do that. I think AMD is working really well with its supply chain. I think with the MI400, there's the potential for that. But for these massive deals, at least like this, to be consistent, you need to have proved to your customers that you can do it. And I think at the moment, AMD hasn't really proved it. I think with the MI400, that's why I think both of us are pretty excited for AMD's MI400, because it will be that time for them to prove that, look, this is when we can go through this full approach. Obviously, you can say AMD has built massive superclusters for all different types of hyper performance computing in the past, right? Some of the biggest computers have been AMD computers, but I think for this AI game, it's a completely different beast.
Okay, no, fair enough. Fair enough. Why is Manchester United down? I mean, because they suck, I guess. That's one of the reasons why it is down. That they did report. But yeah, if you're not in the Champions League, you're not winning anything. If your transfers suck, then financially, I don't think you're in a good place either. Alibaba has been killing it lately. The stock keeps going up, and it's up another 2.5% or so. Pre-market right now at $166. Very good news. We also have a couple of notes here. First up, we have Intel. They reiterate sector weight. The analyst note Granite Rapids up 84% month-over-month growth with deployments at AWS and Alibaba. They have no price target for Intel. Speaker Johnson says that China is trading US relations with Nvidia because of the Nvidia chip ban. We have a Lemonade Piper Sandler price target raised to $60, up $5 from the $55 they had before. I did also see a Micron one, I think. Where is it? Grab. So Grab got a HSBC downgrade from buy to hold. Price target $6.20, which I believe is around the prices they're at right now. So here we have Duolingo, outperform rating $540 price target from Evercore ISI. That's the first one. I think I've seen another one as well. Disney, how many price targets were there released today? This is Open Door. Here. So Micron at Wolfe Research, outperform rating price target raised to $180 from $160. They highlight HBM gains and resilient DRAM pricing as key growth drivers. It might also be just price chasing because the stock has gone up recently and suddenly they all come out with new price targets.
Yeah, especially since earnings are so close. I don't know. I feel like if I was, I would feel better doing some. I don't do price targets, but a price target after I hear earnings, not a week before. Unless you just believe the momentum is gonna go there, is gonna continue there, you can ride that wave.
Yeah, no, for sure. So those were the price targets that I wanted to show. We also have some PayPal news for the PayPal bag holders here in the chat. So this is a pretty big deal, actually. So Dr. Mark Goretter is the SVP and General Manager of PayPal Ads, previously at Uber. And so they announced, and by the way, this is a great follow on X. So they announced that PayPal offsite ads is expanding to Germany and the UK. This represents more than geographic growth. It's about bringing our unique approach to European brands and merchants who are navigating an increasingly complex advertising landscape. The thing here is that these are offsite ads. Right? So these are going to be ads that you will see on other websites, not just the website of the brand, which is, of course, a big deal. So brands can reach highly relevant audiences across the open web powered by real purchase data from PayPal's transaction graph. what makes this difference is that they enable actual cross-merchant consumer purchasing insights, not just clicks or impressions, a privacy-first infrastructure built for today's consumer expectations, and closed-loop measurement that reflect true business outcomes. This, of course, is now just Germany and UK, but those are the biggest markets for them in Europe. In the United States, again, this is still early days. The ads business, I believe you're paying $0 today if you're buying PayPal. For the ads business, we do not get that much information yet from the
Oh, wow.
ads business from PayPal, but I do think that in 2026, as they start seeing some traction, I do think that they're going to talk about it a bit more and more. So that was PayPal, which is probably why the stock is not red at the moment. At the moment, it's a
Yeah. We got some comments here, Neo. So I think we talked about this one, but we see Nebia's price target 120 from Goldman Sachs. I wonder if that's the thing that ended up changing within the last 5 minutes before we went
I think so,
before we streamed.
probably.
So stock is up about 2% there. Last time we checked, I don't know how much it is now. We also have Zero here, kind of just talking about the price targets we just mentioned. He says, well, they said they trimmed Micron technology on prices of Monday. We also saw another analyst increase price target of Micron to 200 from 160. We have Kaz asking if I think Nvidia will drop a lot on these China news. I would say I think it will be volatile. One thing that I'm hopeful is Nvidia did not include guidance with China. So again, it's depending on what the market had priced in. Were they pricing in how much revenue from China? So it could drop. I could say maybe like a 2-3% drop. But anything crazy, I would be surprised if it drops like 7+% on this news. So something in the low single digits wouldn't really be too crazy in my opinion. And then I had another question, Neil, before I send it back to you here. Eddie here. What do you guys think about release of ROCm 7? So yesterday, AMD had their ROCm 7 release party. I believe it was the case. I saw some pictures on X. I think this is just continues. It's not an immediate bullish. It's more of kind of that long-term bullish. I would say it just showcases that AMD continues to develop in the software ecosystem. I think they've mentioned that they talk about it also, Neo, in one of the conferences that they had after earnings early this September, that they gave us a breakdown. They're not really focused about serving 100% of the software market. What they want to do is they want to serve the top 20 customers in the software space, make sure that their models work, because those 20 or so customers are like 80% of the market. So while NVIDIA has the hotel, and the hotel is pretty long, and in theory, right, the long tail is pretty big at the beginning and then it shrinks down. NVIDIA, that's what NVIDIA is. They've been doing it for such a long time that they have the hotel. AMD rather focus on that those 20 or so customers, want to make sure that their models work really well with their software solutions, because that's where majority of the market is. So I think this is what they're just going to continue to do: release more software solutions, focus on those big players, and eventually focus on the long tail.
On that front, back to some market macro or just market data. So when the Fed cuts interest rate within 2% of stock market all-time highs, the S&P 500 has gone on to finish higher over the next 12 months, 20 out of the 20 times. Good odds for us, of course, but we can be the 20 out of 21 times, of course. And this is, of course, for next year. For the next 6 months, we were 72.7% of the time higher, green in this case. Next 3 months, 77.3% of the time. Next month, only 50%. So short term, it's basically a coin toss. What has happened? Might be red, might be green. On average, though, it's very important to know that on average, we are green no matter what. Next month, next 3 months, next 6 months, or next year. But yes, this time it can be different. But I always like to look at these data points and see exactly what's going on. Again, the rate cut, in my opinion, is going to happen. I have a poll running. What do you think will happen with the market? Up, down, or flat? I think it's going to be important to listen to what he has to say. What's the reason for the cut? What do you think he will say? Do you think he will mention stagflation? Do you think he will mention, I don't know, weakness in labor market, weakness in whatever? What's your predictions? Let us know in the chat. In the chat, yeah, in the chat below, or in the chat on your right side of the screen.
This is pretty cool. I like the 100% in the next year. 77%, 70 in the 70s within the next 3 and 6 months is also still pretty nice.
Yeah, and on average, the market was up 2.3% and 3.4%. So we're on the good side here. We're on the good side here for now.
But yeah, like you mentioned, on the short term in the next month is pretty much a coin flip, right? 50%.
50%, and average is up 0.1%, median 0.4. So it's like, okay.
Pretty much flat.
Yeah.
Neil, I got some other comments here coming in from both sides. So Mando, kind of when I was talking about AMD 20, more like 5 or 6 account for 90% of the market. Yeah, that's what I originally thought, but they mentioned 20, Mando, in their conference. I think they're not just counting the hyperscalers anymore. I think they're also counting kind of the upcoming AI companies. So if maybe they're focusing in the robotic space, they're only focusing in like the top robotics company. They put that on the list. Obviously, you have XAI, you have Anthropic, you have OpenAI. So those are different from your Microsoft, even though they're kind of correlated. So I think it's pretty quickly to add up those 20 or so into that list. What else do we have here? I like this question from Tommy. So Jose, I would love to hear your thoughts as well, Neil. What is NVIDIA and AMD to interest rate cuts? Or they are generally low on debt. Both are very low on debt. They do have a nice amount of cash. I do believe both of them can be able, if needed, they can just pay off the debt that they have. But how can they benefit, right, from this lower rates? And I think, Tommy, you were going in the right direction. I think AI infrastructure is a very expensive market right now, or business. I mean, we've seen all these companies announce a lot of growth in capital. And when they kind of build this capital, they also have to think back about interest payments and whatever the loan has to do with it. So now if they have to think a little bit less than that, the money that they might have allocated to there could be just used to build and buy more AI infrastructure. So I don't think it's going to create a massive boom, but it could create where might purchase a little bit more AI chips. Again, in this market, I don't think it's capital that we're missing. It's always power. It's power constraint right now. That's what we're really seeing the slowdown in this market. So if these orders, it's still just more of a power capacity than no change. If we see some influx of power change somewhere else, then this extra money that they save could help build more AI infrastructure. But I would say the first thing is we need to find more power. And then from there on, kind of trickle down to the money. Any thoughts there, Neil?
No, I agree. It's an indirect effect. It's going to benefit utilities. It's going to benefit smaller companies, which will then benefit the bigger companies. So it's not interest rates coming down. It's not, oh, suddenly Nvidia and AMD's business are going to boom because rates are lower. No, it's because everything else that's attached in that ecosystem that is rate sensitive is going to be positively affected by it. For example, okay, it's not a direct impact on AMD or Nvidia, but Enphase does benefit from lower interest rates for sure.
If anything, I have another question here, Neil. Uh, claims their quantum compute will surpass all NVIDIA GPUs. Will NVIDIA enter the quantum computing world soon? I think I don't think they have entered the quantum computing world. A lot of these quantum computings are still in what we call the hybrid AI quantum computing, or our hybrid quantum, where it's a mixture of a classical computer and a quantum computer. One of the news in the UK, actually, let me see if I can pull it up really quick, Neil, so I can show. Let's see, share screen. So this was one of the big news yesterday, where NVIDIA and United Kingdom are to build nation's AI infrastructure and ecosystem. It was about a 11 billion pound investment in UK with companies like Nscale, with CoreWeave. Neil, do you know if Nscale is public, or is that a private company?
We shall check. We shall check.
I know it's not traded in the US stock exchange, but I'm more curious if it's public um, in the UK. But NVIDIA boosts UK quantum computing with multiple initiatives, including teaming with Oxford Quantum Circuits to build quantum GPU AI supercomputing. And they go a little bit more in depth throughout the platform. And what ends up happening is you still, at the moment, still need your AI computing or your classical computing to do things like error correction. And you kind of see a little bit of a mixture with those. So companies building quantum computing are most likely buying GPUs from NVIDIA. Or also, we've seen the partnership of IBM with AMD. So you can be just buying anyone in general. Outside of that, NVIDIA has also created their CUDA Q platform, which is kind of their CUDA software ecosystem for the quantum market. So they've entered that into that way. What I thought was pretty interesting is it seems like this quantum computing is going to be built by Digital Realty. I believe that's a public company here that builds data centers and kind of does a REIT style investment. So just, yeah. OQC and Digital Realty are establishing a quantum AI center, working with NVIDIA to deliver the AI supercomputing that will support quantum processors. So I think that's how NVIDIA is going to stay. Is going to stay with the support and with the software ecosystem. If it ever sees this market being bigger, I think NVIDIA will have some products there. But I think right now, them developing GPUs where it could be used in AI, in some form of quantum computing, makes the best sense for them.
Quickly, I mean, with quantum, we still have time. We still have time to discuss who's going to win and who's going to lose business here. But today, there are very few, if any, commercially available quantum products where companies generate billions of dollars, because most of these companies are worth billions of dollars and they barely generate any revenue at the moment.
Because it's not just about the technology, right, Neil? It's about the ecosystem. You need to have developers that are very familiar with the quantum space. I don't think I know many quantum engineers. You need to have the ability to create the supply chain base dramatically to hit a massive ecosystem. You can hit niche players, which is pretty good. But to hit kind of like that massive ecosystem that you were talking about, it's a completely different game. Someone was talking about reptilian lizards right now,
And
and
it's
it
a private
somehow
company,
reminded me
Enscape.
of Anscape. Is it? Remind me of Mark for with all the jokes going around. What time is his presentation today, Neil? Is it before, during, or after the Fed meeting? I'm hoping before.
No, it's
Is today the
late.
event?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
but
late tonight.
it's very
Okay,
late. Yeah, yeah. It's
yeah.
like a Pacific whatever, so it's like after the market is closed. After the market is
After the
closed.
market is closed. They usually have it midday. Are they going to show just something that crazy that they need to do it after market hours?
Let me tell you exactly. Let me tell you exactly when, and then we do want to touch a little bit on that Uber and Tesla thing. So let's see. Register for the event. Well, okay, but when is the event? Can you not tell me what time? This guy. 5 p.m. PST, so very late. 5 p.m. PST is the Connect keynote. So yeah, that's going to be 2 a.m. for me. Great stuff, my friend. So yeah, forget about that event for me right now. Anyways.
Well, you don't want to wake up. It's only going to be 8 o'clock for me.
Yeah. Pre-order the glasses already then. Yesterday, this came out. So Tesla Semi, they're excited to partner with Uber Freight on this initiative to accelerate the adoption of semis across supply chain. This program will help provide predictable growth and optimize utilization by matching carriers and shippers with lower cost EV freight options. So Uber announced it's Uber Freight, which of course Uber owns. They launched a dedicated EV fleet accelerator program with Tesla Semi, so subsidized entry point for the Tesla Semi, secure dedicated freight demand, immediate return on investment potential. So I'm not saying that this is the first step in a broader partnership of autonomous vehicles, etc., because I don't think so. But this shows me that despite Tesla not willing to list their autonomous vehicles on the Uber network, they're still willing to work with Uber on other things. In this case, with Uber Freight, with this Tesla Semi, which still we're waiting for the, of course, big official launch. I found this quite interesting. Didn't move the stock, which is fine. Yesterday we were at $99.7. That was
you destroyed it, Neil.
Now you said it. You said, oh, it would be sad if it went to $99.9. I was like, oh, this guy.
Well, it's because I forgot what you said something. There was something that you said
No, because I
that made me say that.
Yeah, because
I
had a
you
prediction
predicted. You
that
predicted.
it would go to 100 within the next 12 months. But I still think it can happen. We do also have some traffic data, Gen AI traffic data from SimilarWeb. And so it looks something like this. Gemini is taking share, rapidly taking share. OpenAI is losing a little bit, but not by much. To get the exact numbers, it's basically this. We'll go 12 months ago. ChatGPT was at 86.7, Gemini is 6.9. A month ago, ChatGPT 79%, Gemini 8.6, and today 76.4 for ChatGPT, 10.8 for Gemini, Grok at 2.2. And so the conclusion was Gemini significantly increases share, DeepSeek sees rare search, and Cloud and Perplexity continue ascent. That was interesting. We do also see the generative AI tools traffic, OpenAI, Gemini again, the top two, with OpenAI being by far the leader here. And that's about it. And that's about it.
And you know what's crazy, is this is a ever growing, it's still a growing market, right? So I mean, we've seen, so I would love to also be able to see the actual numbers outside of just market share, because even if even for these players like Perplexity, I think stayed at like 2% market, or so it's like 1.7, they joined to like jump to 2. If we get to see the actual numbers, you probably see some massive growth for them. So some might look at this and say, look, Perplexity or some of these other companies aren't really growing. They're staying the same market share, but that it's only half the picture that they could be still growing dramatically, which allows them to continue to benefit there.
Apparently, there is some big news regarding Lyft. So Lyft and Waymo launched partnership to expand autonomous mobility to Nashville. Okay. Lyft, a global mobility platform, and Waymo, the world's leading today announced a new partnership to bring Waymo's fully autonomous ride-hailing service to Nashville in 2026. Very interesting. Very interesting. And so Lyft is now, let's see. Whoa. Lyft is up a significant amount pre-market. It closed out at 20. It's now at $25.7. Pretty good. Pretty good. I did cover Lyft earlier this year as like that second player behind Uber. I'm not gonna lie, it was quite cheap. It was quite cheap from a free cash flow perspective. Very hated business as well. But they were also doing quite a lot of partnerships with Volkswagen, with Mobileye, with I think May Mobility as well. And now we got this thing right here, Lyft and Waymo, Nashville 2026. Well done. I don't know who owns Lyft in the chat, but congratulations. This was also one of those contrarian investments in 2025. So congrats. Congrats on that.
Quick question, on I know we talked about it, but Tesla and Uber news, like, who's providing the fleet? Is it a fleet? Is it just something that shows that they're integrated? What's happening? What was the real thing behind there? So
I don't think they're Uber is definitely not buying a fleet. Uber Freight is not buying a fleet. I think they're just launching a program with Tesla Semi. So let's just go on the blog post and see what the heck's going on here. But it's not like a Uber investment.
Because I mean, I just don't get the. For me, it's like, couldn't I just buy a Tesla Semi and just gone through the Uber app and do Uber Freight? Like, does the truck need to be validated or something before even being able to do there? So it's like, how does this partnership really work? If, in theory, in my mind, just like if I had a car, I could just Uber there. I can Uber my Tesla, right, if I wanted to. Why couldn't I had just Uber my Semi Tesla if I had one?
So it's a deal with fleet operators. Of course, you're not going to rent out a Tesla Semi on the Uber app, because the Uber Freight network is important because of shipping, logistics, etc., etc. So they say right here, Uber Freight works closely with fleet partners to understand both the opportunities and hurdles of EV adoption. The shift towards electric Class 8 trucking is gaining momentum due to the demonstrated benefits of the total cost of ownership. And so how does the program work? Uber Freight dedicated EV Fleet Accelerator program provides fleets with a subsidized entry point into electrification paired with reliable demand from our dedicated freight network. And so the heavier fleets purchasing Tesla semis through this program will receive a subsidy on the purchase price. Fleets will integrate their Tesla semis into Uber Freight's dedicated solutions for shippers for a predetermined period. This creates an opportunity for carriers to forecast revenue with confidence, while shippers gain consistent access to reliable zero-emission capacity. And Uber Freight taps into its extensive freight network to match carriers with consistent, high-quality freight from their strong shipper base, helping ensure the addition of these Tesla semis stay fully utilized and carriers see dedicated, real measurable returns from the start. And as for Tesla Insights, participating fleets can schedule dedicated sessions with Tesla to review technical details and total cost of ownership, etc., etc., etc. Why should fleets join? Because of this. Lowering upfront costs for the Tesla semis, securing revenue streams over multi-year dedicated contracts, and some other things right here. So this is basically the deal here.
I mean, I guess this is a part where both Uber and Tesla need help, right? So Uber, I think, wants to their freight business is it's the smallest out of them all. I think it's the one that's still unprofitable. So if they can partner with someone to make it a little bit more attractive and get more brand knowing, it's a good deal. And for Tesla, I mean, I don't think. I think for Tesla, just again showcasing that their semis it's a new businesses in general are, it's going to be very rare. Hey, I have my massive truck fleet of gas power, diesel powered trucks. Why would I want to transform somewhere else? But now with this incentive, I think it's a great place where these two quote unquote rivals can find a middle ground where they can both help some part of their market accelerate.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Tesla Semi is an, let's say, unproven product. I mean, it's proven on a small scale. So for Tesla, in this case, maybe it makes sense to partner up with Uber Freight, and for Uber to grow their Uber Freight program. Maybe this might make some sense here as well. Applied Digital better work out. If AI takes my job, I can't even fall back to drive. I mean, you can just operate a fleet of self-driving cars. Interesting question here. If Jerome Powell announces he's leaving, how will this affect the market? If he's like, he announces that he's leaving like today, because he is leaving next year anyways. In May, he's getting replaced because his time's up. But if he's leaving today, I think the market crashes. Yeah, I do think so. Because of the uncertainty, for sure. But I don't think he will. I don't think he will do it. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, I can someone offer him a lot of money to leave? Will he take that? Is that the type of person he is? I don't know. Can he be bought out? I don't know. But how would the market react? I don't know.
What I do know is that Uber is down 4.2% on that Lyft news. And Duo is down 5%.
Neil. Thanks, Neil, for showing us that $100 price target yesterday.
You should not have said that it would reach 99.9 and then go down.
Well, it didn't.
You're right. It didn't even go that high because of you. What else? Nvidia is down 1.2 at the moment. There were quite a lot of, some questions here about my favorite painful.
No Oscar. Oh, okay.
No Oscar. The pain pal.
No Intel.
The pain pal. Because I've seen some people try options now as well. Some others, they did have PayPal and now they sold. And then some others think there is value in it. Look, it's very simple. It's very simple. You're buying PayPal today. Okay, you're not buying the huge underperformance of PayPal before. That's the positive thing here, is that you don't have to buy or waste, let's say, your time with 2 years here of underperformance. You're buying PayPal today because, one, the business today is much better than what it was 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Alex Chris came in, completely new management team as well. Suddenly, Venmo became a much bigger deal for them, which I still couldn't understand why the previous management did not do that. But okay, you're buying PayPal today at a shareholder yield of 11%, at a buyback yield of, quite close to that. They can buy back 9% of the company now with the buyback program and the free cash flow. You're buying PayPal today because it's cheap, because it is more profitable, because it has an ads business that currently is priced at $0. But yes, you're buying a stock that is not liked by the market at the moment because of the growth story. But I do think that the growth story is going to change in Q3, Q4, especially 26, because the year-over-year comparisons are just going to be extremely easy. Plus, Braintree starts to reaccelerate. Venmo grows above 20% and will continue to do so for a long, long time. And that's the reason why I am still bullish. And that's, I think, the reason also why this is an opportunity. But if you don't like it, then don't buy it. It's very simple. It's very simple. I don't like Oklo. I don't like the quantum stocks. And so I don't buy it. Very simple. Although I will never compare Oklo Quantum to PayPal because PayPal is 10 times better.
You heard it here, guys. Neil said quantum. PayPal's better than quantum. Or PayPal's the next quantum. I don't know what he said. He said something.
Well, I wish PayPal was the next quantum. That means that the stock would be worth $1 trillion right now.
I like Roberto here. What's the next money merry-go-round infinite money glitch? CoreWeave. I think you meant the other way. Meta buy $20 billion of CoreWeave compute. How do we get into this wheel is the real question we need to ask Roberto. How can we be part of this infinite money wheel, so we can just keep getting money as well? But yeah, Neil, question: what a brokerage account do you use for
my bank in
options?
Belgium.
Your
Because
bank, okay.
because some
Is it
others
hard
just
to
don't.
do? Does it just suck in general? Do you have to call somebody, say, "Hey, Mister, I need to buy a"?
No, I don't need to. I don't need you, but the interface is definitely not the best. It's definitely not the best. Because it's quite interesting that options isn't like a default thing on brokerages. But then again, when I think about it, SoFi doesn't offer it either yet. So it is what it is.
Let's know why we don't talk about Supermicro anymore.
The
I don't
reason
used to talk about it
is
when something crazy.
it's
There's
because
nothing
we
crazy.
actually own part of the company and we cannot talk about. No, I'm just kidding. Why don't we talk about Supermicro? Because honestly, there is not much to talk about. There's not much to talk about, and there are much better opportunities out there if you want to play the AI semiconductor wave. Supermicro is just not one of them. For me.
Yeah, agree, Neil. I think in the AI infrastructure market, there's so many ways to play it. I think right now, it's weird to say, even though the AI infrastructure built out itself could eventually be a commodity. I think because of power capacity and certain other stuff, it's a little bit. I prefer kind of buying AI infrastructure companies like your Nebius, like your CoreWeave, instead of buying the AI server builders like your Supermicro, your Dells, your HPE. So yeah, it's just stock can grow from here, but I just think there's better opportunities and better risk reward somewhere else.
Yeah, I agree. Would you be a buyer of Uber at any prices?
I don't think so. I mean, I think we both started a position at the beginning of this year or late last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy with that position size. So I think right now, no, maybe if I start to feel again very AI infrastructure exposed. I think that's what happened for me as well. It's during that time frame I was feeling very heavy AI exposed.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to look a little bit at different avenues that can still benefit from the AI market. Uber was one of those plays, but now I feel the opposite. I feel not enough AI exposure. So
Okay.
I'm back in that market. How about you, Neil? When would you be purchasing? If anything, I mean, if we somehow drop to what is that, your 200, the
This
purplish, yeah, or
80.
whatever, yeah, around 80. That's if we drop down to those magic lines, I would probably try to increase my position a bit.
Yeah, to be honest, same. I mean, 80, I mean, for it to fall to 80 is quite a big drop. The first one is here 93, that's the 50-day. Then we have one at 90, that's the 100. But when I think about this, why would this be super bearish for Uber? Doesn't this just reinforce the fact that Uber and Lyft are going to be platforms where the autonomous players are going to list their fleets on? Because it would have been more bearish if it was Waymo going with just Waymo.
Yeah, agree.
So
It's now. I mean, now that you mention, right? It's like if you have a car, your car you can put in both Lyft and Uber. Why wouldn't Waymo want to do the same thing? So it's like I'm surprised Lyft is actually going up that high of it. I would have expected, hey, since they're going with Uber, once this market becomes a true crazy market like Wix expected to grow. This mature player, why wouldn't they have entered the Lyft ecosystem? But I guess the market wasn't pricing that in, which to me, like I said, I find it weird. But I agree. It kind of just showcases that it's going to be more the platforms that end up growing, especially if this market continues to expand and get bigger and bigger.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if people have noticed, but most of the places that Waymo is expanding to are places where you will have World Cup games next summer. It's a trend that I've recently noticed, and I just checked again. Nashville has also 3 World Cup games, I think, next year. So Waymo definitely wants to be ready by the World Cup to have autonomous vehicles so that the people will be exposed to it come the World Cup in the summer of 2026. I think that's going to be pretty interesting. And it's going to be one hell of a quarter for the likes of Lyft and Uber because, well, suddenly you have a World Cup in their most monetized place, which is the United States. That's going to be quite a tailwind for them. Quite a tailwind for them. Yeah, you can register pre-sale. Visa pre-sale is still ongoing, but you need a Visa card. I assume you all have a Visa card for this pre-sale of World Cup tickets, but we don't even know how much we're going to pay for those tickets, by the way, because the system is rigged. It's a dynamic pricing one, which is completely ridiculous. They're going to price out a lot of fans.
Yeah, we got a quick question here from Jeff. You kind of, I don't know if you have the, I don't know if you have the slide again, but kind of what you showed earlier today, Jeff, when the Fed cuts rates without a recession, the data, I think, if I remember correctly, if it cuts when the S&P 500 is within 2% of its all-time highs, within the next year, so within the next 12 months, you have an average return about 14%, and 100% of the time, the stock market has been green. So
yeah,
it's kind of
but
true.
Yeah, no.
And it's always a good stat until it's the first time. I agree.
Exactly. No, but it's true. That's the big difference. Historically, if they started to cut and that's followed by a recession, markets crash. If we avoid a recession in 26, should be good. But then again, they also told us that there was a 100% chance of a recession in 2022, and I'm still waiting. So, yeah. You know what they say, right? Economists were invented to make the weatherman look good.
I didn't. I've never heard that, but that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Was a good one.
We're also getting a lot of questions on this one. I saw it in both chats, Neo. Can you please share your thoughts? Navitas. Do you see any growth potential for this company? Many thanks again for your insight. Neo, I think we talked about it. I mean, first, it's important to remember that the stuff that they have with NVIDIA is not an exclusive deal. It's not even a deal. It's more of a partnership of technology innovation. If that technology improves or does well, then it opens up the opportunity for NVIDIA to purchase products. So it's not an exclusive deal. It's not even a deal. It's a partnership of technology development. If they do this, if they do well, though, this company is a market cap of $1 billion right now, 1 point something, give or take. If they come up with saying, look, we finished our technology development, NVIDIA's purchasing orders for their Rubin platform, you're going to see this stock go up dramatically. It's all dictating on that, in my opinion. The other thing is, in the long-term tailwind, in my opinion, a lot of the power products that they have can be used in things like data centers and things like robotics and other type of high power solutions. But it is a very competitive landscape. So both gives and takes, right? There's gives and takes there. The biggest thing is obviously any NVIDIA true deal can create a nice cataclysm for the stock. but it is a competitive market.
On a technical basis, it has been quite strong here at the 100-day moving average. Um, there is, of course, that huge gap up when that thing was announced, that blog post. So that gapped up. I don't know. I don't think we will go that low. But as long as it holds here, I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good. JJ, thank you for the super chat. Knowing what I know now, would you enter Duolingo here? Yes, yes. The answer is yes, because my average is still higher than this. Would I add here? I said last week I wouldn't, when the price was a bit higher. But yeah, if we can have that double bottom here, I think I'll add just to lower my average a little bit, but not by much.
Have you
Because
talked in the videos there what your kind of like entry average was?
I jumped in way too soon after
Oh,
it crashed, like after the earnings report crash. Thankfully, not the pump, but the crash. And
but
then
that's
I
still not even
bought.
that bad.
No, I'm still down
Yeah. Hmm.
low double digits because I already bought at 262 or something like that to average down a little bit. But my first buy was, now in hindsight, maybe a bit too big because I thought the market was just overreacting. Um, but yeah, in hindsight, that first buy was a bit too aggressive. But okay, fine. I bought it because I like the business. I still like the business. I think it will do well until I'm proven wrong. Of course, if I see that yes, users are churning, um, activity is coming down, subscribers are not growing anymore, then yeah, I'll admit I was wrong. So I bought the last two times I bought was 268 and 308 to average down. Now we're at 268 again. So we'll see. Since that was the last time I bought, I'm not rushing into it again until maybe this time I do want to see the market picking it up again, because I don't want to throw just money for the sake of averaging down. Then to answer this question, because that's a pretty good question, with all these opportunities, how do you decide what to buy? Well, I said before, I say it again. Sometimes the best opportunities are already in your portfolio. It's simple.
100.
It's simple. No need to look for other shiny objects outside of the portfolio, because sometimes the best thing that you own is you already own it. So why not buy more of it?
Okay, and just make sure you don't get Neo Roberto in the same room, because then they get you to buy YOLO into other companies that do really well.
Which for now, yeah, exactly. Which for now has been working very well. Roberto, the other Roberto now. Thank you for the super chat. What's your take on Pinterest? I agree. Pinterest has been doing very well stock-wise and business-wise. More importantly, Pinterest has been doing very well. They've been able to switch into a monetization form without really losing the users. Because previously they didn't want to monetize too much because they were afraid of losing users, because it was that safe space in the social media sphere. But they've been doing a good job. My reason for not owning it is simple. I own Meta, I own Google, I already own social media advertising companies in my eyes are doing much better. That's it. That's why I go back to saying sometimes the best companies are already in your portfolio. But yeah, Pinterest has been doing quite well from a business perspective, for sure. It's just not as exciting for me. And we are going to open the markets.
Shouldn't you change it so we don't just see extension hours? Ding, 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 ding. Market is open, guys, and Neil has to get his stuff ready. This guy's the noob. Ding,
Oh,
ding, ding.
look at this.
Nevitas
Bing,
up a
bing, bing,
nice
bing, bing.
2%.
Duolingo is down 4, Oscar
Yeah.
1.6, Uber only 1.4 for
Oh,
now. But
wow.
again, it's
Yeah.
only the
It
open.
was down about 4%. Um,
Yeah, but
ding, ding,
don't
ding.
jinx
We already
it.
did
Don't
it.
jinx
The
it.
me, Jason, you're the one who showed up with the one.
Ding, 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 ding. This is I bought a this is my best
Change
buy
heat
of the
map.
week.
Come on, noob. Let's come on.
What do you mean change heat map? It's supposed to do this automatically because you see
Does it?
yeah, because
Oh,
but the heat map has always a delay
I
of
like
a
this one.
couple of seconds.
Ring ding, ring ding, ring ding, ring ding.
Dingling. I bought a Ninja blender this week. One hell of a buy, I've got to say. So long
Do you have
Shark Ninja.
the shark? Right? Yeah. Is that
Yeah,
shark?
Shark Ninja. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What's
Very nice.
what's Workday doing? I see that super green down there. Is this
I
just
think
not fixed
Elliot.
yet?
I think Elliot managed no, because I think I saw Elliot Management take a stake in the company or something like that. So what do we have? A lot of red. We have a lot of red today. Duolingo down 5, Oscar down 2.5, Uber 1.8, Reddit 2, Intel 1.5. Why? I don't know.
AMD fighting back.
dLocal 1.3, Nvidia 1, Palantir 1.2, AST 1.4, Iron 1.2, Micron is down, the rare occasion. Applied Digital is down, and the rest are down here, less than 8%. Who's green? The almighty Nebius is green, 3.3%. Novo, again green, 1.4. PayPal, 1.1. Would you look at that? That's some
And
crazy
I
stuff
would have
right there.
expected Nebius to be up a little bit more because this is definitely not many analysts are covering this stock. And who was it? It was one of the big ones, right? And
Goldman,
it was
yeah.
a nice. It was a big price target. I was expecting actually a little bit more on it. Not just there's certain stocks, certain ones that get moved.
I mean, it did move a substantial amount over the last week or so. So I guess that's why.
Yeah, but that was on the deal, right? So
that was on the deal, yeah.
chip
Rocket
stocks are
Lab is up
pretty much flat
1.2.
today.
Yeah, Rocket Lab 1.2 after being down 13% yesterday because of the $750 million that they wanted to raise. Nu is flat. Apple is a little green. And by the way, I did buy more Nebius yesterday, like a 3%
Nice.
increase.
3% total
Like,
portfolio or 3% of the position?
3% increase of the position. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, not that many extra shares. I was like, hey, it's again under 90. Okay, fine. We'll do it. We'll do it. So yeah, we do have a little bit of a recovery. We do have a little bit of a recovery. Let's see. Doesn't change across
guessing
the
game.
board.
Doesn't not even if you refresh. That's what lame.
Interesting. So yeah, dLocal is seeing some buying action right now. Duolingo, always the same. Duolingo, dLocal. Uber is down now a little bit more, 2%. Oscar also 2%. Still trying to find where it's going to land. Nvidia 1.7.
Nvidia.
Where is AMD? Here.
It's almost flat. Up.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Never mind.
Yeah. Down 1%.
Yeah.
It's also a bit in
tanking.
Yeah, a bit in no man's land at the moment. Same with Nvidia.
A lot of them are. Yeah.
AST is holding on to that 100. Well, in that area, at least.
Which was the one that was up to 50? Am I confusing them a lot? AST and Rocket Lab. Is Rocket Lab like in the 50s?
Yeah. Rocket Lab is 50.
Oh, okay.
Now
That's what I've been confusing. Okay.
Is 48.2. 48.2.
Wow, Lyft gains dropped from 24% to 11%.
Oh.
That was the
What a shame. Come on, Uber. Salesforce is literally not moving much. Let's see if Adobe is moving a little. Yeah, Adobe keeps moving a little bit.
What? I see a lot more green than red now. Like candles, it seems.
two consecutive green candles. Yeah. 2 consecutive green candles. Nebius is losing it. Losing it. We're still here at the 90 bucks, but we're now only up 0.8%. Let's look at Figma. Figma still at the same price. Interesting. Let's see. Any other stocks that we usually cover, or anyone in the chat wants to see something, let us know. Dave is up 1.1. What is the other fintech doing? Chime is still the same. Sezzle is still the same. Rubrik. Let's see.
When is the meeting, and when is it 2 and 2:30?
He speaks at 3, I think, 3
Oh,
p.m.
3.
Eastern.
Okay.
But the release is at 2 p.m. The release is at 2 p.m. Eastern also. Rubrik is still down here under that 100-day moving average. BMNR. Where is he? It's an orange here. BMNR.
All right, Nir. I'm pretty sure you're gonna end stream soon. I just need to hop out. So,
all right,
if you wanna
just go over a couple things, and then we shall finish it off. Qualcomm. It's so wide. I wonder what 150, 160 is still the same, or 164. Interesting. This one is really not loved in the semiconductor space. It's a shame because it's a very good company. It is a very good company. NFE. What is NFE? NFE is up 31%, but it's doubled in last couple of days. Wow. Congratulations. Neo. Where is Neo? You tell me Neo is above 7. Is that 7? Yeah, Neo has been also recovering very nicely. Doubled actually since July. A lot of Chinese names actually have doubled since. Baidu is up also a significant amount. Interesting company, Baidu. Alibaba's 163. RB, thank you for becoming a member of the channel. A legend. You are now a legend. Uruguay natural gas. Didn't know you could double your money on Uruguayan natural gas companies in 2 days. But congrats. How's Bullish doing? How do we... it's this one. How is... you tell me. Bullish is up 3% for now. 3% for now. Has been in this... I have no clue what they do, but I do know that it was quite a hyped IPO. $53 right now has been for the last 2 weeks or so. Roberto, again, thank you for a super chat on hedging ideas. What do you think of TMF, TSDD? TMF or TSDD? Ooh. I don't know. I don't like these types of things usually. You want to hedge like a specific name, or you want to hedge the market? That's the question here. Because if you want like the market and to play it safe, you can just buy the VIX. Like buy the VIX, and if suddenly the market becomes very volatile, you win through the VIX. And I've showed it in the past. Look, the VIX spikes every month and a half or so. So could we see a spike again towards the 20 or something like that? Maybe. Again, depending on what our little Jerry is going to tell us later today. But this is how I would probably play it. Or you can sell puts on any names that you would like to buy at a lower price, I guess. But I don't usually like to go 2x short a specific name or something like that. The VIX is usually what I would think about if I want to hedge, if we are truly going to go into a volatile period. I don't think we're going to see these types of volatility, but in the 20s, low 20s, maybe, because it has been quite low for a while right now. The trade desk, probably still 46, 47, 45. Okay. Up 0.9% at the moment. And what's your take on investing in US stocks as a Belgian? Do you worry about currency risk and inflation? No, not really. Not really. Because I still believe that US companies are great companies that will outperform. Plus, right now with my euros, I can buy more US shares, right? It's true that, of course, if I sell US stocks and then convert them back to euros, I am now in a losing spot because of the currency difference, of course. But I don't plan on selling my USD to euros anytime soon. I plan on having those USDs in my portfolio to buy more shares. But currently, I am winning. If I buy more stock, I'm usually transferring euros to go and exchange it to dollars, which of course I'll get more today than I did at the start of the year. And so I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. But yeah, again, to clarify, it's true that we are losing if we do convert back to euros today. I mean, we're losing depending on how much you gain from that position, but you will be losing on the currency difference for sure. For sure. With that, that's about it. That's about it. Again, it's going to be at 2 p.m. the first results of the Fed's decision, the dot plot as well. I think maybe 2:30 or something like that. That's last time I checked. And then 3 p.m. he starts speaking. I do also believe that President Trump is speaking later today. Or is that maybe tomorrow because he's in the UK or whatever. So that's what's going to happen today. It can be volatile. Yes, it can be volatile. And if it is, then I guess you can find some interesting stocks to buy. But like I said, the best stocks are probably already in your portfolio. So with that said, we shall see each other tomorrow, bright and early, and we'll probably both of us release a video anyways later today. So thank you all for joining, and we shall see each other tomorrow.